That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Ryan O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Humberto Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. We hope that you'll hit subscribe, come back over and over again. We have artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, creators of all kinds. But you know what else we have? Sometimes we forget about the people who create the places where we get to take our creations. And we're here today with Teri Edney, the event coordinator of Space Coast Book Lovers.
Yep.
Who has put together an event where writers can come and ply their wares and tell their stories and meet some fans and gain some readers.
That's right.
Because she's a little crazy. Because you put that many writers in a room and it's just mayhem. So, you heard wet cats once a year.
It sort of feels that way.
I believe it. I believe it. So last year was the original Space Coast Book Lovers event.
First year.
So it was a fantastic event. We had a great time. The authors I know had a great time. And the readers came in, which was great. It's always great when readers come in and they actually get to meet some of their favorite authors. It is. Because authors need money too. We have to eat. We like eating. Why? What made you think, we want to do our own? Because I know you've been traveling around with Robbie, and Teri and the team run the street team for Robbie Cox, an author that is a Hangin With Web Show alumnus, and will be on the show again soon. Anyway, so you guys run the street team for Robbie, and you've been to these events, and you see the gaggle that it is, and you said, I want to do that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it started, was attending different events with Robbie, you know, all over the state of Florida and outside of Florida, that made us decide, hey, this would be fun to do, because we didn't have, we do have local events, but we didn't have anything that was really at this caliber. So we were trying to just take it one level up and bring in additional readers. And a lot of it was focused on the romance the first year. And we kind of broadened out from that a little bit more this year. So bringing them all together and just putting something, and make it very reader focused and not so much on the authors and on the industry professionals, which a lot of events do.
Yeah, there are a lot of events where there are a lot of opportunities for the creative artist to go in and meet other writers, meet book designers, cover designers and editors, and it's more of a conference than anything else. But a reader event like this, where you can actually spend the bulk of your time interacting with readers, that is kind of rare. Even through Central Florida, there are a lot of events. We've been to events where they're 3 or 4 day events, but the first 2 days, maybe even 3 days, is all about conferencing. And then the last day might have,
we do some workshops in ours, or as we call them, buzz sessions.
Like that.
We have those. The buzz sessions are focused around marketing, to teach the authors how to engage with their readers.
Yeah, creators like to sit behind their keyboard and just write.
Exactly.
And then somebody says, well, how do you sell your books? Yeah, I want to write.
Exactly. So we want to give them the opportunity to learn different things, that can help them as far as engaging with the readers. So on Friday during our buzz sessions this year, like we have a couple of workshops that are set up to cover how to interview if you're being interviewed like this, or at the newspaper or something else, or on TV, just anywhere that you would be interviewed. How do you go about that? There's a workshop set up on that. There's also how to write a press release that gets accepted by the newspaper, which is important, because you spend a lot of time writing that and send it in and not have it accepted.
Especially because writers pride themselves on their ability to turn a phrase. But a newspaper reporter is a different animal, and they are looking for very specific information, and if it takes them too long to get to it, they're not unlike any other person in the workforce. They're not going to, they don't want to take that time. There's other things to do.
Right.
So writing a press release is really a skill, and I think people overlook that sometimes, that there's a proper way to do it if you want it to be accepted. My first conference I went to, we started the show based on one question. I had made the newspaper during that conference because I was releasing my second book. And about 17 different authors walked up to me and said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "I'm a newspaper reporter. I simply wrote the story and handed it to somebody else."
Yeah,
I made their life really, really easy. And that's really what it comes down to. They need to be able to get who, what, when, why out of the story. They need to know that if they don't have time to write it themselves or to call you, they can print it as is without having to go through a lot. And if they know they can do that, it's a no-brainer for them.
Right.
So
teaching them that is very important.
It is. And then, of course, you have, ample opportunities for readers to get to come and know the writers.
Right. Our readers can participate in the bus sessions if they want to. We've got a ticket called a Book Fanatic ticket, and that's where they can participate in everything. So they can kind of get in there because a lot of our book fanatics are industry professionals or bloggers, that type of stuff. So they're kind of dealing with the same thing of how to attract it.
Super fans actually do, a lot of them, even if they haven't done it yet, they harbor that secret desire to be with, in the industry, to either write or to participate on a whole nother level than just buy the book and go home.
Right.
So it's great that they get to come in and enjoy those buzz sessions too. So last year was a lot of romance, you said?
It was a lot more
heavily focused on romance. Heavily focused. This year you've really broadened the scope. But one of the things we noticed about last year, even year one, which is unusual for a conference, is you had writers come in from all over.
We did.
For a first-year conference, that's unusual. Usually it's a lot of local people, and then it spreads as the word spreads. You guys had people come from the Northeast. You had people, people you had met along your journey.
Right.
And that was an amazing thing to see. So now you're opening it up a little bit more to genre-wise. That geography has just got to be going crazy too.
It is. We have some international authors that are going to be there.
Wow.
Australia, Canada, that type of thing. So we have several that are going to be there with us this year. And then we have all over the U.S. Going as far as California, all the way up to New York. We've got them coming from everywhere.
Wow.
So we're really excited.
That's fantastic. How many authors are coming this year?
It's 70 plus.
70 plus authors.
So we're excited.
Wow.
A lot of people. A lot of people for you to talk to.
Wow. I'm in, where's the date? I want to make sure we get this right here.
This is
there we go. Oh, May 31st to June 3rd. From May 27th to May 29th, I'm going to be napping, so there won't be a show. I'm going to catch up on my sleep because there are 75 authors. Wow, that's fantastic, though.
That's a lot of authors.
Year two, 75 authors from all over the world. You must be crazy by now.
We haven't gotten crazy yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Well, and there are other opportunities. Guys, this Space Coast Book Lovers is a fantastic, not just to meet readers, not just to sell books, not just to see the sessions, but we had fun. It was a fun conference. It really was. There were pictures being taken, and the backdrop was out in the lobby there, and just there's lots of stuff for everyone to do where you can enjoy. The hotel is fantastic.
Right.
So 75 authors, multiple genres this time.
Right. A lot of mystery.
A lot of mystery.
Yeah, you have paranormal, urban fantasy, romance, of course, of all different genres for the romance, the subgenres that are under there.
That is
so we have
great.
A lot of those going to be there.
That is just getting bigger and bigger. Year two, and already it's exploded.
Yeah.
So can you even fathom what year three will be like?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Her brain hasn't got
Ask
there yet.
me in July.
Setting up an event like this, we're going to kind of get both ends of the spectrum. What would you say is the most difficult thing about setting up an event like this? And then what's the best part for you to setting up this event?
Well, the first thing I would add to that is the most important thing.
Okay, yes.
The most important thing is to have a great support team behind you, because if you don't have that, and I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to have that support, because you may be the one leading.
On a good day, all I do is sit here.
Exactly.
And chat with friends. They do all the work. The really hard work.
Right.
And without that, nothing happens.
Right.
So, and you have a fantastic team.
I do. They're awesome. It gets me a little teary-eyed. But as far as the setup, I think
I'm not going that far. Okay, they're nice. They're good
he's
people.
Not gonna carve you guys. Sorry. You guys are great. I think the most important thing to start up when you're first setting up is making sure that you get together and you put together your vision of what you want, and then from there you can decide on what type of venue you need.
Yeah.
With Space Coast, we knew we wanted something very laid back, even though we love going to the other events and doing the costume parties, the dress ups, all the different fun things that are there. We love all that. But being that we were going to be on the beach, literally,
to keep it Florida.
Yeah, we wanted to make it very beachy, Floridian. So just like our tagline says here, rockets above us, beaches beside us, and a book in our hands. That's exactly how we wanted to portray it. So
that is like the perfect weekend, by the way.
Yeah, laid back. You're able to relax. A lot of our authors use it as we call it a be-leisure, which is basically they're doing business and leisure together.
That's fantastic.
So they're doing a business trip for the book signing, but they're also bringing their family to
now, what's been the
relax.
most rewarding part about putting Space Coast Book Lovers together?
All the people that we've got to meet, just learning more and more. I focus a lot on the marketing for Robbie, so this has given me a lot of insight on how to help him.
It is always
was
great
kind of
to
our
see
first
what the
thing.
other authors and the other street teams and the other marketing people are doing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we just, I literally, like yesterday, it was exciting. These little codes here that I'm
QR
codes.
Yes.
We just got a bunch of cards for each of the books with the QR
yes.
codes, to hand out to make it easier. And that was just, I had never thought of that. I went to a conference and there were some authors handing out the QR codes, and I was like, oh wow. Because when you're asking somebody to buy a book, you're asking them to spend either $1 or $4 or whatever on an ebook. But there's a process, and then we understand people are people no matter what you do.
Right.
So go to Amazon, search for your book, and then buy your book, or send it to my phone or whatever and download
Right.
it. Too many steps.
Yes.
The people just, our nature is we want it as easy and as fast as we
They're
can
like,
get it.
what was his name?
What was his name? Yeah, how do I spell it? Whatever. And so another author had handed us this card with a QR code on it, and I was like, that's brilliant. And so we just got mine in the mail. So I was like, yes. I couldn't wait to do it. I didn't know why. You learn so many things from sitting at the person at the table next to you.
Right.
They're doing different things. Why do you always put that card up? I don't even like that card. It's the one that tells us that we have to go.
Oh.
We just found a rhythm. You see what we were doing
and I have
here?
so much more to say.
See? See that? She's got this. There's a Space Coast Book Lovers thing happening, and she wants to tell you about it. Okay, Space Coast Book Lovers is happening. It's happening at May 31st to June 3rd in Cocoa Beach, and there are going to be 75 authors there. There's going to be one really extremely exhausted talk show host. I'll be passed out somewhere, probably near the pool, only because Sage and Dina will probably drag me there and wait till I get sunburned, because
Exactly.
I'm pale, so they like that. They think it's funny. Guys, we have been here hanging with Teri Edney, the event coordinator for the Space Coast Book Lovers here on the Space Coast in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We're in Melbourne right now, but it's in Cocoa Beach, in Brevard County. There are rockets. You'll know it. There's like roads that come all the roads.
We had a rocket last year.
We had a rocket.
We did. We had a launch last year. Did you miss it?
That's right. I was like going through my dates. I'm like, oh, we did, didn't we? Yes.
We did, right in the middle
That's fantastic. Yeah. We're actually, it's cool to be on the Space Coast again. Remember that like 5-year period when we were like, it was all so quiet, nobody was doing anything, and now all of a sudden we're launching rockets again.
Yes.
And Elon Musk's car is in space because
yes.
apparently that's the thing to do. I would have kept the Tesla myself. I wouldn't have sent it into space. Okay, so come to Space Coast Book Lovers. Check out your favorite authors. If you're an author, if you're a creator, and you don't know about Space Coast Book Lovers, I don't know where you've been, but spacecoastbooklovers.com. We're going to put links down below so you can find them. Go on over and see, beg, whatever. You want to be here. This was an amazing event last year. There were great readers. There are a lot going on, so you want to be here. We're going to say thank you to our partners and our friends. Our great partners at Something Unique Magazine, Famous Faces and Funnies, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, who we met at Space Coast Book Lovers, by the way, last year. And our friends at Space Coast Comics and Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, and of course Teri and Robbie and everybody at Space Coast Book Lovers. We can't wait for this year. Come on out and join us and see who we're hanging with there. We are the Hangin' With Web Show. We hang with authors, artists, filmmakers, musicians, creators of events and activities, and so much more. You should see these guys' table when they're out at Robbie's table. We'll talk about that when we talk to Robbie next. But remember, guys, subscribe, log on, tune in, see who we're hanging with next.